back out. It's a little windy. I'm trying to move out of the direction of the wind, see if I can get some cover from it. A little cool, a little windy. We have ventured out of our state and ventured up into Pennsylvania. And today we're in Shanksville, where Flight 93 went down. So we're getting ready to head into the visitor center, and I guess we'll put some stuff up about that, and maybe later I'll give my 9/11 day, me being a paramedic, since I had just gotten hired by the county back in 01. So yeah, I have a little story to go with that for the day, but we'll start off. We'll head over to the visitor center and take a look around. All right, so we got one of these gigantic books. There's the stamp. It says 1 is Shanksville, 2 is for the Tower of Voices. So we can stamp Flight 93. We can do the stamps here.
Here?
November 3rd.
I think that's the sticker one they had over there that you could put there. We should have bought that because I like that sticker.
All right, we can get the sticker.
And just put this underneath of it?
Yeah, stick it underneath of it. Okay. Let's find a sticker. So we went to the visitor center. Got we did get a passport book. So we'll be getting our stamps for that for the next, decade as we hit them. But I didn't take anything inside. No videos, no pictures inside. They ask you not to. I respect that. So if you want to see that, they'll probably go to YouTube. You might be able to find something, or better yet, you should probably just come yourself. But we'll probably get a few outside as we walk through the park. So we have a second smaller building over here, and that is information and some videos about the ongoing health effects of 9/11, not just from the responders, but the people that actually lived and worked in that area. If you remember all the stuff that came down that day, a lot of people breathed that in, and we're looking at decades of health problems from that. So there good information there about what the federal government is doing, Health and Human Services, and trying to have enough funding to take care of the people who were exposed to all that on September 11th.
That's where the crash site is. You can't even see the rock. The rock's behind the tree.
Yeah, so this is the first place they brought the families to when they started showing up in September to the crash site.
The crash site is.
I think it's over here on the right.
Yeah, see those little trees? Behind there is where the rock's at.
Oh, so that's where the plane hit right there, and this is where the families came, and they had this area here for them to come and gather, and that's the crash site down there. So we're going to head down there. So this is the wall of names written in marble, and there's still people placing items at the bottom. And it's the obviously the names of everybody who died that day. And I'll get ready to show you the impact point. That's the impact point right out there where the boulder is.
And see, this was all backfill. This was stripped out.
So the dirt was loose out here. They were pulling coal. This was that's why it's all open. They were pulling coal out of here. The buildings that the coal company had, they used those as, you know, headquarters for the investigation while they were out here. And all those buildings have since been removed. All right, it's a pretty good walk from the bottom all the way around to the top. It'd be real rough in the summer, but so we walk back. We're getting ready to head over to the Tower of Voices, which is another part of the monument here at Flight 93. And I took my hat off because my head got hot. So we're going to drive over there because it's on the way out. So my 9/11 story, that up there, yeah, that's not mine. That belongs to, I don't know who it belongs to. It belongs to somebody, but it's not mine. But yeah, I'm at work. And my 9/11 story, that morning, I got off that morning. Back then we were working 212 days, 212 nights, off for 4. And I had gotten off that morning. And back then, we had... Let me find it. I think it's down here. Let me look. Yeah. We had these. So if you don't know what this is, way back on the side here, we would push to talk. Yeah. These were actually our Nextels for work. These things were actually pretty cool. I really liked it. You could be like anywhere and just, and it would chirp and you could, yeah, what's up, you know. But that was also a bad thing because you could be sitting in line and they could chirp it and be like, hey, you know, Travis, you're stupid, you know, and they're in the middle of a grocery store or something. But anyhow, I'd gotten home and I was, I remember I was laying in bed because I was tired because as normal, you know, we get our butts kicked at night. And my phone goes off and it was my buddy Dave. And he's like, dude, are you watching TV? I'm like, no, man, I'm laying here getting ready to go to bed. He said, well, turn the TV on. It's a plane at the World Trade Center. I'm like, what? So I walk over to my tube TV and push the button and turn it on because I didn't have a remote. And I think right about shortly thereafter, the second plane hit. And, you know, I'd called him back and I'm like, yeah, something's going on. I think, you know, we're in trouble. And then, of course, you know, you hear later on about, you know, slightly about the Pentagon. And like my phone starts like blowing up. And we eventually we all got called back. There wasn't many of us back then. I mean, there was literally just a handful of us back in '01. We had just started, July of that year. So this was, you know, obviously September 11th. So we didn't have a lot of staffing, and we get called back into work, and they're like, yeah, we're not really sure what's going on. All the bases in the area, and I have quite a few of them, you know, just being south of Washington, D.C. They're all on lockdown. We have a lot of our volunteers are federal firefighters, and a lot of them are career firefighters in other jurisdictions. And they're all getting called back to work. And we got called back to work, and the bases are on lockdown. And we didn't know really what was going on, obviously. We figured it was, you know, some sort of terrorist attack. And I remember from that day, it was really quiet. You know, we didn't like run a lot of calls. Like nobody was calling 911. And eventually they, you know, said, all right, well, you know, everybody just kind of go back home. We're just going to, you know, play it by ear. We're not really sure, you know, if anything else is coming. And, you know, at the time, we didn't know if anything else was coming. I mean, were we poised for a red dawn? You know, is the Mexican and Russian military coming in through the southern border? Are we getting, you know, airborne assault or something? Are they coming in by sea? You know, at that point, nobody knew. But anyhow, we that settled down, and you know, of course, it was on the news, and I watched a lot of news, you know, that day. And I remember for probably a good week, maybe even 2 weeks afterwards, anytime we went, especially at work, we went to go eat. Nah, it's on us, no charge. And yeah, it was nice. And yeah, that's pretty much about my 9/11 experience. Was based on the fact that I had just gotten off, and I never went to New York. I mean, I went to New York years later after the towers were gone and they were getting ready to put up the monument and such. And but never went up to New. We did have some people that went up to New York to Ground Zero. You know, a lot of people just kind of went, you know, kind of freelanced up there, and you know, some of it worked out well, some of it didn't. But you know, anyhow, a lot of them went up there because, you know, New York City Fire Department was decimated at that point. And they eventually sent most of the units back home, you know, a couple days later. They got everything, you know, put back together in New York. But I did have some friends that were at the Pentagon. They ran the initial alarm at the Pentagon, the initial fire. Some friends who worked at the airport. Airport had crash rescue trucks that they had brought out there. I believe one of them, he was at the Pentagon. He eventually died from, you know, problems with what he was exposed to at the Pentagon. And, you know, it was, I definitely knew some people that were on the initial dispatch at the Pentagon. So, you know, it definitely hit a lot of different people, and, you know, some of the people that, you know, even I had worked and volunteered with, you know. So yeah, I guess that's about it. That's my 9/11 story. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Give me a like, give me a subscribe.